Games, board games, board games. I might be talking about board games, but I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And of course, it's 2023. Will this one be a good year for me? I don't know, but let us see. But I guess I'll have a chat today while playing games on BGA. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. 10 a.m. is UK time, 1st of January 2023. Time for Busy Beats and Board Game Blether, episode 863, where I'm going to be playing some games on Board Game Arena. Yeah, I've got lots of turn-based games going. I've got like 50 games, and we'll play a few games, and I'll talk about them, say what I think of them, and just blether and about the new year if anyone pops in. But as always, let's start off with some recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. Yeah, yesterday didn't it was the first New Year I've ever spent just in bed, snoozing. And so yeah, whilst that's a bit sad, at least it's the first time. I mean, if it was to happen regularly, I might be a bit more sad about it, but it's a change. Um, didn't get up to go with. Let's not focus on what I didn't do. I did have some. I cooked some rice with some korma and tikka. No, some tikka masala and some beef madras mixed together. It was all right. It was nice. I mean, the two different types of curry, the sweet one and the spicy one offset each other. I also had a fried egg for dinner. I played a lot on Board Game Arena. Yeah, watched some stuff. That's pretty much what I did. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's move on to brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's the little thing which is brilliant? The sun. Even when there's no bright sunlight coming down, it's still there. I mean, giving us a wee bit of light, managing to provide the plants with just enough energy for their photosynthesis. It's good times. So yeah, let's hear it for the sun with the warmth and the light energy. Good stuff. Now, as always, with this thing, please do comment, ask questions, fun like follow, and I will present. Let's. So I just saw that I've been invited to a game. So let's talk about Sensei. And I'm just going to talk about all these games as I'm playing them. Morning, James. I hope that you're generally well this year. Do you have any plans? What's going on with you? How was your New Year's celebration? Did you do something more exciting than me? So this is Sensei, which is a new game that came out on Board Game Arena. I think the actual game is from like 2016, something like that. Yeah, let me. So in this game, what you're doing is one person's red and a human, one person's green and a monkey. You move your little squares as far as you want, orthogonally, just in one direction. You're not allowed to move your tiles diagonally, but you can move your human diagonally, which kind of confused me in one of my early games. And the way you win is by getting your tiles, well, your human or your monkey, whichever one you're controlling, all the way to the other side. Now, figure 4 here shows what an unfair game is. If one person has completely blocked it, so there's no way for someone to get their tiles over to the other side, like you can see here, and three tiles of the other person are touching theirs, then they lose the game because that's something that's meant to keep the game going. I'm still not sure if the game will necessarily always end. It does depend a lot on how the players are playing, but yeah, 2015, that's when it came out. So I'm still not sure what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of playing around, seeing what happens. And this game, I quite like it because on Board Game Arena, some of the games you can always cancel the moves, see what they're like, which I think makes sense. So I could move up here, which gives me an advantage. I don't want them to move this green. Can you see where my mouse is? Yep, this green. I don't want them to move that boom down there and then down there. Obviously, then they could infiltrate my defenses. So I'm going to move my human up here, and then I'm going to move that there. See how that goes. I'm not sure I've done that exact move before. Maybe I have, but hopefully it will be a different game still. And hello to me. It is lovely to see you. Happy 2023. I assume it must be, yeah, about 5 a.m. 2023 over there. I know there's somewhere in the world that there's still 2 hours to go because, yes, James says, doing all right. Brought in the new year playing It Takes Two, the video game. Oh, yeah, I've heard about that, which was brilliant and more difficult than I thought. It's Happy New Year to you, too. Okay, in this game, Gnomes of Zavendor, this I've actually got an interesting relationship. Ooh, let me do a wee bit of stretching. Gnomes of Zavendor, I've got an interesting relationship with this game because this game, I kind of got a copy without the rules for the redesign contest back in 2014. Yeah, I think it was 2014, I want to say. Now, in Hello Xate, this is all your favorite stuff, so Gnomes of Zavandor, I've not played this enough to give you my thoughts on it, but you're buying stuff, you're selling stuff. If you sell stuff, then the arrows go down and the price is cheaper for next time. If you buy gems, then the arrows go up and the price becomes more expensive. It's a fairly typical stock market. Like maybe I want to sell some green gems, I guess, and then I could buy them back next turn. That seems like, I mean, I've only got 3 green gems, so that's only 1, 2, 3. So then it would go down to 4, but then I would be able to buy another one for 16. But I'd actually just be better off. Yeah, I'm going to pass on the thing and sell my green gems. Let's sell all the green gems and let's see what happens. And oh, I thought I was going to go down 3. Yeah, that was a terrible move. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Yeah, as I say, I don't know this game well enough. And Happy New Year, Elaine. It is lovely to see you. And yeah, because it hasn't played everything on Board Game Arena yet. Okay, so this is another game of Sensei a little bit further along. Xate, I think you would like this. I think I can almost win. Although I need to make sure. Oh, I need to make sure my opponent doesn't win. So if my opponent moved this red over here, then they could move the little human there and then win in 1 move. I can also see I can win in 2 moves, but that's not fast enough. So if I move this green up there and this green over here, then I could move my monkey over here, and then next turn I'd be guaranteed to win. But no, that's just not good enough. Oh, I can win anyway. Yeah, move that there, move my monkey there. You know, sometimes the obvious things you just miss them, and so yeah, that it feels like the reason that the games are ending is because we're both playing badly, because we both have no idea what we're doing. That's the way I am with this game, and I'm still just like, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I just turn the first couple of turns, I have whoa, what the heck am I doing? And then I just win. I think that there's probably something really nice there, but it still doesn't feel satisfying. I'm just going to say, yeah. Um, Xate says, did I see my new achievements when I logged on yesterday or today? I'm not sure what achievement you mean. Um, and Xate says, I had played everything but re-release a lot. Now it's back to 20-ish games I need to play, mostly heavy Euros. And Sensei, yeah, it is definitely an interesting game. I think if you want to invite me to a game of Sensei, I'm always up for a game. Um, oh, they met you in real life. I have not seen that. No, I had not seen that at all. I mean, I did get one achievement that I had no idea what was for, but the achievements, like even the never two without free, I don't understand. I assume that's for free in a row, but I'm never sure. Okay, here's a game of For Sale. This is one of my favorite games. I think it's by Stefan Dora. Um, Released quite a few years ago. It's one of the classic auction games. I mean, Knizia's the king of the auction games, but here, Stefan Dora's, it's like a game of two halves. First, you spend your money and then you buy these property cards. As you can see, I've got the 30, which is the best. I don't want to waste that, especially not now. And you end up with a whole bunch of cards. Then you've got the money, and then you turn your properties, which you bought in the first half, the um back into money, and hopefully end up with more money than you started with. Now, the first half is continue going ground. If you drop out early, keep half of the money that you bid. And that's a really interesting tension because you don't want to be the last one in the auction. You want to be in there and get one of the better ones, but how long do you stay in? And here it's simultaneous bid, but the bids are constrained by these cards, so it's fixed currencies. Now, 8, 9, 14, 14. These are fairly similar. I'm going to bid the 10, which is still a fairly good card because it does go down all the way. So, boom, I get the third best card. That was actually perfect. Boom, nice. Okay, now it's going 2, 7, 10, 13. Okay, so there's a big difference. I think I'm still going to bid 12. I think, to be fair, there's no functional difference between 12 and 13, even though there's a psychological difference. If I've got 12 and 13, then they're exactly the same value because no one can beat one and not the other. I'm going to guess with that one and see what happens. Oh, never two without three is a French saying. Like we'd say third time's the charm. I mean, if the achievement said third time's the charm, then I would assume that you need to lose three. I mean, you need to lose twice and then win on your third attempt. That's what I would assume third time's the charm means. Okay, Tic Tac Match. This is a completely random game. Like when I'm playing games, I try to play until I get at least 100 ELO just to give it a fair whack. And as you've seen, like I'm on 169. Probably not going to keep playing this unless someone invites me. It's incredibly random. You're one person's knots, one person's crosses. You have to get a line of your symbol. But more than that, the lines of your symbols have to be a perfect match. It's not got that much strategy. Sure, as a zero player, I could play this X on a blue X or a yellow X to make sure that the number of X's on the board are lower. I could play my own zeros on the blank spaces. And you can only play a card either when it matches the symbol or the color. So that's kind of interesting. It's super chaotic. Like this, wipe out, get rid of all the cards in someone else's hand. This, draw two cards. Sorry, play two cards. So you play this and then you play two of your other cards. This one, it feels so powerful you should play it for the win. That's what I'm kind of understanding. Then there's also a card that you swap your objective. So if at some point someone else had a +2 and swap the objective, and the winning card, then they could swap the objective and boom. So yeah, let's play green X on here, because otherwise, if I hadn't done that, they would have been able to play the blue X on the blue O and win. So hopefully this makes it a little bit harder for them. There we go. That is my move on that game. And Sate says, third time's the charm means that something that has already occurred twice before is likely to happen a third time. It's a direct translation of the French proverb jamais deux sans toi, and the Italian proverb mai due senza tre. My Italian pronunciation isn't necessarily going to be good. But so does that mean that you'd get never two without three if you lose 3 times in a row? And hello, Black Sheep. It is lovely to see you, and I hope that you are generally well. Thank you for following, and good morning to you. I started playing Sobek because, yes, I got the premium membership because I've got a bunch of those points thingies, and tried to play a bunch of premium games. I actually thought this was the original Sobek as a premium game. I didn't realize, oh no, it's a completely different thing. It kind of reminds me of King Domino in that the scoring system, the way you score is you've got your scarab. So here 1, 2, 3, 4 on the fish, multiplied by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I should get 40 points, which confirms 10 times 4 for the fish, and 4 times 3 for the livestock, because I've got 3 scarabs and 4 tiles. So you want to focus in one thing. Like, I mean, I've managed to do that fairly well in the fish, especially with this extra token. This so, and Sate says, no, we don't celebrate people's losses. So you don't have to lose in order to get any achievements. I mean, it might be nice to have a consolation prize sometimes. But anyway, so at this point, I seem to be in a fairly good situation, but my opponent does have 5 things in their hands, and for all I know, that could be like 5 things that could give them like 30 points if they add on to one of their high scoring thing. So this is the Ankh. If I move it down to here, then I get a white tusk, which is no good for me. Doesn't look like it's particularly good for my opponents, but given that there's none on the table, I'm assuming they have a lot of tusks in their hand. Alternatively, I could get this human, and I'm obviously going to go for the human, because yes, it gives me 1 corruption, but I'm already 6 behind them in corruption, but I get to see a new human, and that's always exciting. Let's put it. Okay, so if I give them the 2 of pink, then plus the 2 of pink, that would give them 6, 7, 8 points, because it's currently 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 times 4 would be 16. Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. I can't let them have that. Yeah, I'm going to go for giving them the wild card, which is also pretty good, but I think not as good as the pink one for them. And Sate says, most people would feel that is rubbing it in. If I ever lost 3 games, I wouldn't want people to know. Once I lose my 3rd game ever, I'll tell you how I feel. Black Sheep says, it's not all about winning. Having fun playing games together is a big part for me. And Sate says, well, don't trivialize games. They are serious business. That's the thing. Like, okay, we have... Interesting. So, this is a 3-player game of For Sale. If you've got 3 players versus a big player count, it's a very different feel. At this point, I am Happy to take the 20. So Lynn's paid 0 for 13. I could take the 20 for 0, or I could probably take the 25 for 2 money. I'm just going to pass and take the 20, because it's about the difference between them where oh wow, that's not that big a difference, but like the differential between 2 and 9 is enough that, yeah, sure, I would have paid a few pennies for that, for sure. Okay, Hive, this is an absolutely delightful game. I played this on an old board game online space called boardspace.net, and I played it more than 40 times, and oh, that's just mean. Yeah, for goodness sake, Xate. So, yeah, boardspace.net. Um, other sites do exist. I played it on. Oh, Xate said, I meant that you'd crush me. I find that very unlikely. Yeah, so boardspace.net, back in the day, about 10 years ago, it was 2011, my first ever time to UK Games Expo, and I had just played Hive like 45, I don't know, it was more than 40 times. And I was at UK Games Expo, and I bought, for my first time ever, I bought 2 games. The 2 games I bought in my first time at UK Games Expo were Mindleaf, a game that I just discovered by Andy Hopwood, and it's a really nice, elegant game of placement and forcing your other opponent's places and getting frees in a row, I should say, and Hive, which I'd played 40 times, and I bought Hive Pockets. It's slightly smaller, it's more portable. I'm always up for a smaller game if I can get it, and also it was cheaper, so bonus. And I thought, well, I've played it 40 times. I should probably buy the physical copy. Ironically, I probably played it less than 40 times since I bought it. So, and good morning, Josie. I hope that you're generally well. So I've played this less than 40 times since I actually bought the game. Yeah, that's like 12, 11, let's call it 11 years ago. And it wasn't until maybe a week ago or something that I had played a whole bunch. So let's see what's going on here. I am black. I need this queen to not be surrounded, so that's not great. I mean, there's only 3 spaces left. Conversely, I want the white to be completely surrounded, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces left. The grasshopper is going to be bouncing boom and boom, so I've got 2 things lined up to trap it. And I'll put down an ant, I guess, but I feel like I am basically guaranteed to lose at this point, which isn't great, but I'm just playing it out because why not? And I would, whether I'm winning or losing, I would often rather see something just play out rather than halfway through, well, I'm sure that you're going to win, because just seeing it play out is part of the joy of the game still. And Sate says that Sate recognizes Josie. And Happy New Year, Josie. Happy New Year to you. And Black Sheep says, I love the tactile feeling of the tiles in Hive. Yeah, obviously that's one thing that you really do lose in Board Game Arena. One thing that you get in Board Game Arena, conversely, is that you, assuming the designer has played a game and been involved, you get to see if the rules are correct. I think there might have been one thing that I made a mistake on, because I thought moving 1 step, you could sort of jump from strand to strand, but apparently you can't. Anyway, what's going on here? Well, I clearly want to play the 10. That's good, but oh no, they've got the 7, 8, 9. Well, I might as well play the 10. So in Lost Cities, it's a game of sort of push your luck. Each thing that you start is minus 20 points. So you need to get at least 20 points with your expeditions when you start them. If you use the handshakes, it doubles the value. And my opponent here has done really well. As you can see, they are kind of beating me by a substantial amount. I like this game, honestly. There's definitely a good amount of luck in there. I always found it weird, like the random, play best of three. It feels a bit, well, it's adding up your scores, but I don't know, I just find it really unsatisfying to have games that suggest rounds, but then don't have any difference in the game state. If the only difference is in your score value from round to round, if the only continuation, it just feels unsatisfying. I mean, I feel like the only time I actually really enjoy playing the same thing multiple times is either when I choose to do so or if it's in a tournament setting, because then it's like, hey, okay, well, we're trying to be a little bit, explore this a bit more together. Break the code. What someone's saying? Yeah, this is round 3 or 4. Okay. That text is really small. Don't know if you can still see that. Okay, so this is a super simple deduction game. I mean, when I say super simple, I don't mean super simple to play. There's a heck of a lot to it. And I think I've realized that with 4 players, there's some interaction between them. So you need to think, okay, if that person has that, then that person doesn't have that. So I think that the 2-player game is definitely strategically the simplest in terms of the deductive reasoning that you are able to use. I think that's in 3 and 4-player, it goes a bit beyond my personal skill level. I can see that someone like Ellie Dix or David Brain, who are my friends, also designers who are really good at this deductive reasoning, would be able to thrash me, figuratively speaking. What I like about this on Board Game Arena, okay, is that some games in real life, they have that tactile value. You're able to just tinker around and play with them in real life. And on Board Game Arena, it feels kind of flat. It's like what Carcassonne, it's so much better in real life, being able to look around the table. Whereas on Board Game Arena, oh, now I need to move it around and it's a little bit annoying. Whereas this one, I actually prefer this game on Board Game Arena because right now I've got a lot of information. I don't know what's going on. I've not made good enough notes, but now I can spend as long as I want. I could spend half an hour pondering this, pondering, okay, what's going on? So let's see. The sum of the 3 rightmost is 20. Okay, so it could be a 9, 8, and a 3, for example, or a 9, 7, 4, or a 9, 6, 5. Yeah, there's a lot of options. It could be basically anything. And neighboring colors, that doesn't give me much information. There are no blacks. That's sum of black is 0. So either they've got a black 0 or it's literally 100% white. And there's 1 even. So again, it could be 1 black. And could it be 973? Because if it's 973 and then a 0, like a black 0, no, it can't be 9720. So it would be 974. No, because if it could be 974 and then a 4 of black, and then, for example, a 1 of white. It could be that. I mean, it's probably not, but it's definitely an option. 9, 7, and then 4 of black. That's definitely fits all the criteria over there. Oh no, sum of black is 0. That doesn't work at all. So that would have to be white. Yep. So I can definitely say with confidence that none of these three are black, because this one cannot be a 0, and yeah. Black Sheep says it helps with the luck of the deck draw. I assume you're talking about the last game I was talking about? Oh yeah, Lost Cities. Yeah, sure. It does help with the luck of the draw, but why not just admit this has got a good amount of luck in it? I mean, if I roll a die and say whoever rolls the highest wins the game, this is an extreme example, but if we both roll dice and it's just highest wins, and then we say, well, that's a very lucky game, so let's play it 5 times, that doesn't make it less lucky. That just means it's still a lucky game. That takes a bit longer. Yeah, I'm just not on board with this. Hey, it's a luck-based game, so therefore we should play it multiple times. I mean, if it's like, let's pick a game that has some amount of skill to it. Roll 2 dice and guess what number it's going to be. Obviously, the number to choose is 7, because that's probably going to be what it is. Anything else is probably a bad move, but I could choose 7 every time and just never roll a 7, and you could choose an 8 and roll an 8. And yeah, again, I don't see how that makes it more you can just moderate that yourselves. I think give people some more. I don't know if this is maybe pushing into the Germanic nature, because Germans really like following rules. Yeah, with 3 cards in the deck, I don't have time to recover. I'm just going to do this and draw a card and go back to my break a code. Speaking of dice, have you tried rolling ins? No, I think I've tried rolling pins with you, which is, are you talking to everyone else? Because we played that together. Anyway, so let's see. Consecutive none. That's a really useful rule. Oh wait, C and D. Yeah, my first one doesn't actually fit at all. Consecutive C and D, okay. So let's look at. I don't think these notes are actually any useful for me. Let's go them again. So let's see what the possibilities are. So consecutive. So if it was 8 and 9, then because the sum of the right 3 has to be 20, 17, that would be a 3. That's a possibility. Yep, that is definitely a possibility. If it was 7 and 8, then 15, that would be 5. Again, that's a possibility. 7 and 6 makes 13. So, yep, there are only 2 possibilities. Okay, and there's neighboring same color, C and D. Huh. So that means that it must be 5, 7, 8. It's definitely 5, 7, 8, because that's the only way that it could be a different color. So it's 5, 7, 8 makes 15. And that means what if so if it's definitely 7 and 8 and 5 are gone, what's this last one? That must be a white. Why did I say it was 1? I can't remember now. Consecutive. Some neighboring. Okay, so that's not a green. Black, it could be a 0 of black. It could also be a 4, 2, 1 of white. It could be basically anything. Oh no, it can't be a 4. It can be a 1 of white or a 0. Yes, because I can't have another even. So it's got to definitely be a 1 or 0. I don't know which. There, that gave me some information. Maybe I'll be able to find more stuff out. Okay, let's see. Lost Cocoa. No consecutives. That's a helpful rule. And hey, people finding friends and Black Sheep and Xate. I do recommend playing it with the advanced rules, which we didn't play. The advanced rules are already there. What do you not like about the implementation? I'm quite curious. Is it that everyone does their entire thing potentially rather than one at a time? And Xate says, I remember a time when you were only up for non-turn-based stuff, Xate. What changed? Anyway, let me ponder this. Consecutive none and sum of the three rightmost is... Wait, cross that off. 17. So what adds up to 17? If I had 9 and 7, it couldn't be... I guess it could be 9 and 7. No, it can't be 9 and 7 and then 1, because then I'd have to have a 0, and that would be consecutive. It could be 8 and 6. That makes 15 and 2. And then a 0, I guess that could... 8, 6, 2, and 0 is a possibility. 7, 4 make 11. Nope, it can only be 8, 6, 2, and 0. Wow. I did not expect to get to it so quickly. It definitely has to be that 8. 6. Definitely has to be this 6. 2. It could be any 2. And 0, it could be any 0. I mean, if both of these are zeros, then obviously will work out. Neighboring colors. Okay, so we've got the C and the D. And yeah, I think I just put that. No, that doesn't work. I must have made a mistake. Darn. I've done something wrong. And also the sum of the black has to be 4. Huh. I want to reset. I wish there was a button to just reset everything on here. I just want to wipe off everything and start over again and see. Let's follow this chain of reasoning once more. And where did I make the mistake? Okay, so, and this is the thing, like, I mean, I was talking about spending half an hour over it. So then, and Xate says the thing that's changed is I now work at Board Game Arena and I'm online all day, every day, so I can take my turn-based turns between work emails. Slap a karma penalty, take a turn, ban somebody, take a turn, email a moderator, take a turn. Cool. And yeah, I tried to, yeah. Okay. Let's start with this one again, because I thought, or with the so consecutive, none. And some free rightmost to 17. So yes, if I can't have a 9. No, I could have 9. What's... If consecutive none, what's the options? 0 to 4, 6. No, it could be basically anything. There's it's the 17 without, so 9, 7, 1 can't be it. 9, 5, that's 14. Yeah, 953 is a possibility. And that's 17. And that would be then a 1 or 0. Oops. 1 or 0. Okay. So is there an option starting with 8? I'm fairly sure there must be. Wait, is that definitely... Could I not have 9 and then 6? 9 and 6 makes 15. It could be 9, 6, 2. 2, 0. Or it could be... Yeah, I'm just basically trying to brute force it. It definitely gives me a bit of satisfaction, and I'm not sure how entertaining this is. So once I've finished with the middle one, I'll progress and come back to it at the end. It's like watching the gears in Bez's head turn. Yeah. I mean, So what else could it be? The sum of the three rightmost. So if it was the 8 and then a 5, that would be 13. And then it would have to be a 4. So that's not a possibility because they're also consecutive. So it could be 8 and then 4. That's 12. No, it's definitely one of these two possibilities, I think. Oh, yes. Yes, it's definitely one of these two. So, hold on. Block user. I get a surprising amount of spam on YouTube when I'm streaming. Thankfully, it's easy to block them. So this is definitely a 9. Now, the sum of the black is the 4, which means that the 9 must be a white 9. So we can, and if it's, we can say that not either of these are black for sure. So that's 9. The white 9 is definitely not there. And if this is white or green, like out of these two possibilities, okay, if C and D are the same color, that means that C has to be a 6 because 5 only exists in green. So let's cross off the white 6. So it's 9, 6, 2, and 0. No, but then sum of black is 4. Something's really wrong. Yeah. I think that somewhere my logic is wrong. I don't know where it is. I'm going to give it a wee skip and come back to it because, yeah, I'll leave a note to myself to try doing the middle first because the middle I've clearly met. There's clearly if there's so much information that I'm contradicting it, then presumably there's enough information for me to make a guess. And anyway, someone's guessed correctly, so I have to guess correctly as well. So start with center. And I'll skip it for now and get back to it. Hello, Tom Cauldron. It's lovely to see you. That was Break the Code, which is rules-wise a fairly simple game. So every turn you either ask one of these questions and other people answer them, or you guess the code. And the code is the 4 cards that remain once everyone has their 4 cards. So there's 20. Yeah. So there's 20 cards, 0 through to 9, 2 times in 3 different colors. The 5s are the only ones that are green. So you see some of them, other people see some of them, and you need to guess what the missing ones are. But yeah, strategically, as you just saw, it's very complex. And so, yeah. And Happy New Year to you, of course. I hope that you're doing well. Did you do much for New Year? In a first, although I say this is in a first, like I'm sure that when I was 1 year old or whatever, I just slept through. But yeah, I was just sleeping. Okay, so here it doesn't matter what I pick. This is an interesting thing. I think I made a suggestion in their forum that when the dice are all the same, why not just let us pick automatically? Because, I mean, my opponent has just been waiting for me to pick a die, and there was no reason for them to wait. Similarly, if you roll three of the same number, why do you need to wait for everyone to pick? Why not just have the computer automatically allocate it, given that literally there is no choice? Anyway, so this is Cat Cafe. It's a game, I can't remember who designed it. So it was republished by Alley Cat Games. It was originally done by a Korean Mandu Games. I don't know where Mandu Games are, but Gyung Kim and Ju Ha Lee, and yeah, it's basically a re-implementation. I don't know how much they changed it. I wasn't working at Alley Cat Games when they started on this. So you've got two dice. Choose a die. The unchosen dice is everyone's second die. One of them you choose to choose a position. So obviously I'm going to choose a 5 because that's my only choice. And it says the reason is agency, so that you feel like you're playing your own game. But there is no agency. I mean, if I'm choosing between a 5 and a 5, there is no agency. So, yeah, I don't see how that's an argument. I mean, I'm still getting the moments of agency in what I place. I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe that's a philosophical decision that everyone on the team has come to, in which case I guess I would be fundamentally opposed to it because I don't think that it does give me any sense of agency to make a choice when there literally is no choice to make. Anyway, so as I was saying, you see these numbers 6, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the die that you use for the position. You can change it using these little paw marks. They change the dice going up and down one. On the bottom, all of these extra things that you choose, let's do them in reverse order. The mice. If one mouse scores 2, 2 in a row scores 6, 3 in a row scores 12, and 4 in a row scores 20. So that's really good value. If you manage to get all 4, that's 5 points per token. That's really good. You've got the cushions, which score equal to the floor number. So obviously you don't want something on the low number, but it's a 5-5. Yeah, maybe I'll get 5 points with a cushion. 5 points in the turn seems very reasonable. Then you've got the food bowl. This feels like the weakest one to me. It's quite hard to make it work. I mean, it's really dependent on how you place it, and if you're already going for the mouse strategy, then going for the bowl strategy, then you've got to, like, you can't do both because you've only got so many extra modifications that you can do. And by the way, I love the luck mitigation in this game, which is where we get to number 3. The butterfly toy, it gives you straight up 3 points, but you get 2 of these little paw markers. So even if you need to spend 1 paw marker to get a butterfly, sometimes it's worth doing just to get yourself that extra net 1. So you've got 2 to kind of mitigate your luck a little bit. You can also pass, and then you get 3. And you probably don't want to do that. So, giving yourself a healthy number of paw marks so you can mitigate your luck when you need to is really nice. Now the ball of yarn is the strongest. With 1 ball of yarn, you could get 8 points if your opponent doesn't have any. And then if they've got 1 and you've got 1, then you both get 8 points. So you're still basically getting 8 points. Now, if they've got 2 and you've got 1, you've got 3 points, which is not so good, but you forced your opponent to put in 2. And so it feels always worth having at least that first ball of yarn in every column. And if you don't have a ball of yarn in a column, I mean, I'm not winning all my games, so but that and then finally the cat house. If you've got a lot of one single item put in, then this gives you 2 points per whichever one you cross off at that time. So it might be the number of yarns times 2, the number of butterflies times 2, pardon me, whatever. And you also, the cat's house leads into the tower points. So if you fill the tower, you get the smaller number, unless you are both first and you've got a little cat house in there. So if my opponent fills in the second tower, they will get 9 points, which is a good bonus. So let's see. Yep, I'm definitely going to pick a 5, and I will draw a 5 on one of these places. I think I'm probably going to focus on filling in the middle bit, because I think I can maybe do that before my opponent and get those places, and also it's out of the way, so it's not going to interfere too much with the mouse. That's how I'm thinking about it. Okay, Le Marche du Crabe. This is a weird cooperative game. Let me put a baddie here. Okay, so what's happening is every turn you put a baddie down and then you move. If you run into these baddies, you lose your shrimp. This is your number of shrimp left. You want shrimp. You also get shrimp by going onto these spaces. One player can move vertically, the other player can move horizontally, I guess. So now I'm hoping that BK's moves here and starts getting this thing. There's 2 crabs left. I know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And am I missing one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's that's an unknown item. That doesn't look like an item. I honestly thought that this was also a pebble, but we're running into unknown items, and either it's a booby trap or it's a crab. I know 2 of the booby traps, so I know that these 2 have to be avoided, which is why I've been able to surround it with these cards, because it's like, yeah, let's not go there. But I'm hoping that my partner now goes here so we can get these 2 things, and either that one or that one. I don't know which one is which 2 are the remaining things, but I'm hoping that it's these 2 so we don't have to run into any crabs. And so it's about placing the baddies where it's actually going to give a hint. But then each time you flip over a baddie, it has to be on one particular row. So you've got that kind of hamstringing you. It feels like a good amount of luck, a good amount of agency for a cooperative game. Yeah, it's fairly reasonable. You are playing this idle thing, not too much to stress about. I would happily replay it, and yeah, I'm enjoying it for the moment. Okay, Shelfie Stacker. I have to admit, the fact that I need to hover over here to see the things really annoys me. Okay, I messed up with the whites, and First person to do this gets 8 points. Second person gets 6 points. And the objectives are to make 5 columns of decreasing type. I can only grab and 2 columns with nothing matching. So if I can grab 3 things without pink, yellow, and white, so I basically need, green. Is that a different color? Oh, it's just darkened because I can't get it. Okay. So pink, yellow, and white. So what's all? Are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? How are there 6 colors? I'm actually just now being. There's blue. Oh, blue, light blue, and green. Okay, so I want to take those. Maybe that might be a reasonable choice and go in here. Or alternatively, and I see I've already kind of messed things up for this yellow, if that's what I was going for. And actually I need pink something and green. Could I get pink something and green? No, I could not. I could take any 3 just because on the third column I just need literally any 3. And so you're able to take tiles from anything that has a space next to it. And up to 3. And once you've taken them, you slot them in, one at a time. Here it doesn't really matter. And then they fall in Connect 4 style. The game ends once one person's finished their entire board, so you want to grab a good number of tiles every turn. Conversely, you want to be careful. I mean, I've not done the best job. I've got this blue, which is kind of matching the dark blue, and each of these give you points. Like if I'd done, now that I've already messed up basically 2 of them, I'm not going to get more than 6 points. Yeah, unless, no, yeah, unless I do the white here and yellow here anyway, and I could make the central free do 3 different things. Yeah, I could do that. So I could still actually do, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Focus on, because I'm only dropping 2 points by being the second person to do that. So yeah, I think that's what I would do long term. Did not know you could even hover over to show the bonus points, says Black Sheep. Yeah, I mean, it feels like I should be able to just click and then have it toggled though, because just to make it a little bit easier. So back to this one. There's a big spread. Here, it's a 5-player game. We're looking at, is this the first? Oh, so this is the second turn of the game. I've got to number 28. That's a good start. If I do bid 6, if I bid 5, here's the interesting thing. Is someone else going to bid more than me? And I think that for sale, it really works nicely best in person. It's all about the psychology. It's like no thanks. It's seeing are people tempted to bid more? What are other people going to do? Because I want to just duck out at this point. And Josie, who paid 1 money for number 1. I mean, that's not great, but I guess it's better than paying 6 for potentially number 11. if everyone keeps going up, and then it's the case of, okay, is there one person that's going to keep going up, in which case you can just duck out before they drop? How much money do people have? And yeah. Okay, back to Cat's Cafe. You'll see that I play a few versions of a game once. I'm like, yeah, I'm playing this. Let's get into it. I'm clearly going to do the 3, not just because that gives my opponents less choice, but also because, as I said before, I'm not keen on the 4. It's just a bit too much of an obligation. And number 5 cushion on the 4, spending a pod, that doesn't seem great. Having the butterfly toy, yeah, that would be okay. Give me a couple of things. But conversely, I could see myself maybe having another bits of yarn for the majorities. Maybe bits of yarn on this column. We'll see what happens. Ah, yes. Downforce. This is a game about racing ground, betting on stuff, and blocking each other. Having played it a few times now, I've played it at different player counts, and it does feel like the winner is pretty much always going to be the person who bets on and owns the winning car. So yeah, to maximize the points, you'll bet on something here, and something here. If you bet on the correct car 3 times, then obviously that's best case scenario. If you're controlling that car, then best case scenario. And yeah, second place does get some points, but it's a massive drop off. And then you also get a few points for actually earning coming there. Like there's a 3-point differential. So as long as you've not paid more than 3 more for having it, which would be really weird, then you're going to win. And so it does feel, and then it feels like having that first place marker is super important, but then, there's bits of lightness to it. It doesn't. I personally feel like as a betting game, I prefer Camel Up. It's got more uncertainty, and whilst I really like the sense of control in here of, okay, which of my cards do I play, I feel like there's kind of this illusion of a deeper game than there really is. I feel like, yeah, I'm not so keen on this, and I don't think sure, I'd play it in real life once just to check it out, but yeah. Okay, so let's see. I want to move orange quite a bit potentially, although if I leave orange there, then blue can't move. So maybe yeah, let's do this one because then that skips blue's movement. So this is where it gets kind of interesting. So I play the card, blue doesn't move at all and swears, orange moves here, and green, it doesn't matter where you go. And there we go. So we will see how that comes up. Gnomes of Zavandor. Yeah, I'm not taking the soil samples, which gives me information. Ooh, this is really cheap for green. I definitely want to buy some green at this point. Let's buy 4 of them. And it's only going to go up 1. How does it get up so high? I'm still, this game is still slightly confusing me. I've still not finished the game. Conversely, shifting stones. Something that Joanne told me about, and XXL Black Sheep says Downforce is more of a bidding game than a racing game. Yeah, it's I would agree with that, especially with the special powers. Then it's about that evaluation. So shifting stones, which Kate says she likes in solo. For me, I just look at these cards and I think, okay, how many moves would it take me to do each one? Like, this one would take me 1, 2. One move is either swapping 2 stones. I'm not going to actually do it, but I could swap this orange with this white, or flipping a stone. And you know what's on the back of every stone. So there's 1 black, yellow. There's 2 of the purple, pink, orange. That's the one that there's 2 of. And there's 3 each of the white, green, and the like purple, blue. They're actually arranged quite nicely there for me to see. And you can see on the tile guide as well what each thing turns into. So, as it says here, you can either cards are both your actions and your potential points. So by discarding a card to get yourself an action, you can switch to adjacent stones, or you can flip a stone. Conversely, you can just score a card. So again, it's about what the cards are worth. So we decided so to do this, move that there, flip it over, I get 1 point. But I've got to discard 2 other cards to do that. Not a great return. The double orange, well, I could move 1, 2 to get them in place and then flip the pink, and that would be 2 points for 3 moves. I mean, getting an orange down to blue seems that's ridiculous for just 1 point payoff. Conversely, this one, I mean, sure, for 2 points, it's not a great turn, but it's a nice little it's a nice little puzzle. It takes a few seconds. It's like, yeah, I did that, and I pondered that, and I made a choice. And I'm going to set myself up for the 1 point next turn, so at least if I don't get anything else, I can get 1 point in 1 move. And so next turn I could flip them over, but because I had 18 points and my opponents had 19 points and my opponents had more of the 1 point markers, my opponents won. I mean, meh. I feel like it's a nice game. It's pleasant. I would happily play it in person. It doesn't feel like there's much of a. It feels like there's almost zero strategy, but there's a good amount of tactics. In solo, you have to do all the cards. Okay, presumably solo is also available on Board Game Arena, but solo doesn't change your ELO, does it? Solo is way better, says Xates. You have to remember and set yourself up for them. I might try that. So, yes, here in this game, I seem to be winning quite handily. Huh. Yeah, my queen is only surrounded on one side. Their queen is on 3 sides, and I still have quite a few pieces to go. So let's I was considering a grasshopper, but yeah, let's put the grasshopper here, I guess. Where can the spider go? 1, 2, 3. So yeah, this game feels like I've basically won it at this point. I might be wrong, but this grasshopper can only jump to there, so that's not really well positioned. I think it's because my opponent didn't realize. If I replay from the start, let's replay from. Like, I tend to start with a spider because I think it's the weakest piece. I'm happy for it to be trapped, and there's always going to be 1 piece trapped in the middle. And then pinning the queen is really important. Conversely, my opponent came down there, and then I was able to move out of the way. I'm not sure what they were thinking with that grasshopper. I mean, that grasshopper can only jump to here, so I think that my opponent might just be not very good. which is confirmed by their ELO, but we'll see. Oh yes, I played this with someone and we won, and we won, and I've still only got. I guess I'm going to have to play a lot of this if I want to get 100 ELO. 100 ELO on some games is like really, really hard. And no ELO, just fun. Yeah, it's my, what's the word? Completionism. I kind of, yeah, feel like I have to do it. So is a bird. And I'm sure that Annabelle won't be watching this. So I can say, yeah, it's a bird. If I've got a bird, that's always, Okay, so I don't have any birds. What is it unlike? It's kind of looking to the right. It's small. It's on a blue background. I mean, this horse is totally different. So yeah, the horse is big, and so yeah, let's go with that. And it's definitely, I like it more, I think, in person with 3 players or with one person who's actually able to talk through. The important thing is that you hear their thought process and that your clues that you're giving are playing off what they're thinking. So this is a lovely game. I mean, it's fairly simple. I know and it does rely on trust, but hey, it's cooperative. So if you're not able to trust people, then you're only cheating yourselves. So in the real game, I would know one of the tiles, and then I'd shuffle it in with 15 others, and then I'd lay them all out. I would know the secret objective tile, but I have to communicate that by giving a series of clues, with which are other cards. I said tiles, I meant cards. And horizontally means it's different, vertically means it's similar. And so the first round, my partners need to get rid of 1 thing. Second round, they get rid of 2 things. Then they get rid of 3 things. Then they get rid of 4 things. And then that will leave 2 things remaining, at which point the final decision, one final clue to get them to guess the 50-50 choice of are they correct. I do find that probably the getting rid of 4 things is the most difficult level. And if you manage to get past that, then you're going to win. But it's a satisfying thing. It's a nice little game to play with, I think, more than 3, and it's a bit. Some people are going to feel like they aren't engaging as much as they might like. But yeah, for me, 3 is probably the perfect amount because then you actually get 2 people discussing and 1 person listening. Similar, I played it in real life, and yeah, that's cool. Why do you need 100 ELO? Well, because that's what the thing is telling me. Because yeah, kind of to not that I actually do compete in the arena mode or anything, but just to manage to get there. How do you count black sheep? How? Yeah. How did you find that out? Xate says, I have no idea how many games I have at 100. I need to play a lot more of the Crew 2, My City to get those up. Campaigns aren't great. And feels like I need to get a badge for 100 games at 100 ELO. That seems like a nice suggestion. I would be on board with that. I would definitely nominate this. Okay. So let's see. What's going on here? This is another game of Sobek, the 2-player version. It's a tile game, completely different to the traditional Sobek. I am thinking that I want to get some things down. Maybe the cows, because this is a really nice token. Being able to add 2 scarabs to something, that's a nice multiplier. Taking another full turn again, that's also pretty good. I mean, 7 points straight up is pretty good. One corruption. Okay, let's go with these three, sell that set, and try to grab this. And there we go. So this can only be added to the livestock or the whatever that is, straw or the fish. It feels like there's three cheaper things: livestock, straw, and fish, and three more expensive things: the ivory, the blue, the black, whatever that is, and the pink gemstones. Oh wait, it says here ivory, marble, and ebony. There we go. Really? Marble is pink? That's not like any marble I've seen. I mean, they could have called it ruby or something. Come on. But anyway, the reason that I said it's kind of like King Domino is that it feels it's important to know the tile makeup, like how many of each tile there is, because otherwise you might be looking at something with three on it and thinking, wow, that's amazing. Whereas, really, unless you're going to, like, I have no idea how good this is because I don't know what the tile makeup is, and yeah. Is there a player aid? Not going to. No, it doesn't seem to say the. I just want to know how many of. Here we go. Okay, cool. So it does say 6 ivory, 7 ebony, 7 marble, 11 wheat, 10 fish, and 9 livestock. Okay, that's helpful to know. But again, I feel like whereas King Domino just has it laid out, this is exactly what you've got. That's what I would like here. I would like to see, okay, there's 6 ivory and only one of them scores, or only, I don't know how many score. This is clearly the maximum. Some of them also have 0. How many? Some have scarabs, others don't. How many? Tell me. I feel like I'm not given enough information to strategize with. I feel like that in order for me to make a decision, I've got to know this information, so give me that information in your instruction manual, for goodness sake. And if I was playing this in real life, I'd feel slightly resentful that, okay, in order to make strategic decisions, I have to lay it down and memorize it. I would probably write it down so that with my opponent they can learn. But yeah, I'm not happy with that. I wonder if on Board Game Geek, I'm sure someone will have mentioned the exact numbers. Oh yeah, Chat Cry, I am terrible at this game. My gosh, this is a really nice game. There's a lot going on. Yeah, so pardon me. Oh, sorry. I do apologize. Chakra is a great game, but as I said, I'm terrible at it. You're able to take energy from one of these things, but you can only take one of a single color. You can't just take all 3 yellows and then chuck them in, because that would be too easy. That would be too much luck. So they've mitigated it a little bit. You can only have one of a particular color. Conversely, there's the blacks, which if you're taking energy, you must take. Black is negative energy, and it doesn't actually score you negative points. It's just something that you don't necessarily want in your system. So if you, wherever you put it, if it goes all the way down to the bottom, it scores you 1 straight up point for passing it through and getting it out, excreting it, and then you can also use a special ability to discard the alleviated energy and get one color of your choice up top, which can be helpful if you're waiting on that final purple or blue or whatever. When you take energy, you can either put them up top for free, or you can put them in directly in one of the bubbles, which might make movements a little bit easier, but then you spend one of these things permanently, and you don't get that many actions. A normal action is placing one of these black tokens to either move one thing down 3 times, or one thing down 2 and another thing down once, 3 things down 1 time, or you can do a bit more of up movements, move one thing up twice, 2 things up once, one up, one down, or one in any direction you want. And so as you can see, moving down is more efficient than moving up. And so the game does encourage you to keep putting stuff in here and then bring it down all the way. And if you ever manage to get all three of the correct color into one of these chakra, like if I had all three green in here, then not only would I get that many points, 2 points in this case, but I would also get this inspiration token back so I can do another action with it. If I've used all my inspiration tokens, well, the only way to get them back is to skip a turn, and to use one of these meditation tokens, I get some information about how much all of these are worth, because they're worth between 1 and 4. And yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to really ponder. I'm really not good at it. Josie says, I really enjoyed I assume you just mean you enjoy Chakra. Only ever played it online. I did play it once in person. I think it was just after it was released. Javier was there with me. This was the first out of 2 years, 2020. Must have been 2019. 2019, I think it had just been released, and Javier bought it, and then we played it back at the flat. It was nice. And so I was like, yeah, this is nice. The movements, the moving past, it feels satisfying. You build up a strategy. There's a little bit of luck for sure. There's a good amount of tactics, but there's a lot of strategy, and it really feels like you're building up something. I just think this is brilliant, even though I'm not very good at it. And so, yeah. So I could move the blue and light blue down here, dark blue or blue and dark blue it's called. So I could do them. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. I could maybe get the dark blue. I mean, you don't, again, if there's more than one of a color, even if it's the black, you don't have to take them both. But I could put them in here. I could put the blue into the dark blue into here to try and, because I probably don't need this many things, especially if I'm focusing on the downs. I mean, at some point, maybe I need to give myself the possibility of moving something up so I can do the, hey, move something down and something up. Because whilst it's less efficient, 1, 2, yep, you've only got 3 things to move down, and so maybe I actually want to take the yellow, even though it's just 1 yellow. That might not be a terrible move. And then I can move the yellow down and maybe get, you know what? I'm going to move the yellow down 1 space and the red a couple of spaces. Oops, it only goes there. Maybe I should have done the blue. Yeah, I should have done the blue because now I don't have a triple move down move. Yes. 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, that was a terrible move. See, this is why I play badly. Okay, back to Cat's Cafe. Okay, so this one's a bit full. What do I want? Let's check the strips of my ball of yarns. So, equal, I'm winning here, equal. Oh, they're winning here, equal. No, that's no good. But what I really want anyways, I really need this 5, 6. Let's see, if I take this 5 and they leave me with a 5 forward, then I have to spend 2. If I take, which I don't have anything. If I take the 6 and they, okay, so if I get the 5, 6, then obviously that's ideal, but they're probably not going to leave me with the 5, 6. So which would I rather have between 5, 4 and 4, 6? So 5, 4, I don't have any forwards to place in anymore. Whereas 4, 6, I guess I would place another mouse toy, or maybe I would just pass. So now I'm thinking which one I'd rather they don't have. Which one is better for them between 5 and 6? So let's do a bit of hate drafting. They don't have any, so they would either end up with 5-4 or 4-6. So if they end up, 4 is really good for them in the 6th position. So let me take the 6. Because, yeah, that would be a nice spot. That would give them 3 points. That seems very reasonable. So I'm going to grab that. Hopefully I'll have a 5-6, but I'm not expecting it. This is a totally different Marsh the Crab. Okay, so this is a forbidden island, so I'm going to cover this one and get my crab in the way so that they know not to pick that up. Okay, so I am going to move here, and hopefully they've taken note. Hopefully my opponent has taken note that I moved away from the guitar, so don't pick the guitar. And yeah, that's it, like communication through that medium. Am I playing 3 Marsh the Crabs at once? Okay. I need to play something. Let's go here. And we've got 3 left. Let me... I'm going to go here. And we did lose a shrimp. But... have I just forced us to lose? Yeah, there wasn't any shrimp anyway. I think there was no way us to win, basically. Sad times. Cat's Cafe again. Okay, well, again, no reason for me to choose the 4 or the 4. I've got to 4-4, and I could put in a basket for 2 points, or I could pass and get 3 things for luck mitigation. My opponent's doing well. I am not happy about this. Let's look at the straw. Okay, I'm winning here, equal in the middle. Okay, I'm going to win in the middle because I can place the yarn and they cannot. Equal there and winning there. I'm going to pass. I'm going to just get my 3 points of luck mitigation. So the little thing here. Lost Cities. The same game again. And yep, I don't have anything useful to do. Let's end the round. And my opponent has definitely won by quite a bit in that round. Okay, looking at this hand, I mean, it's a lot of handshakes. I'm quite inspired to just go all out on the green because I need to make a big play. And I guess that's one thing. So, like, they can be conservative. I need to make a big play. So, okay, the 3rd round is kind of different because of that. But still not keen on it. Still not keen. Okay, until I'm playing with Josie here. So, I am red. So, yellow. If yellow could win in 2 moves there, I can't do anything to help, really. If I covered this with red, that might be helpful in case my opponent has red X, red O, and a +2, then they could win. In case my partner, I should say. Wow, a +2. That's an interesting hand. So basically next time I'm going to do double play and then 2 wipeouts. Cat Cafe again. Oh, I absolutely choose the 2. I mean, Yeah, like I discussed earlier, it's definitely the... Okay. Let's go for the shrimp card, I think. Yes, let's go for the shrimp card. So you see we get another life, and see, that's what I like. Becky's, they had to put it in one place, and now they get to move horizontally. So it's not really done consistently across Board Game Arena. It's very much done on a designer from designer type. And I think there should be more of a style guide on Board Game Arena. That's one thing that I feel. Like here, because Becky's could only place the crab, the lobster baddie in one particular location, it automatically got placed there because that's the only place it could go. That makes sense to me. But other games like Cat's Cafe, they don't do that, and they make you waste time waiting for your opponent. Oh, couple. Okay, so I think here my partner hasn't been talking at all, which is very frustrating. Yeah, I might just make hold because then at least we win. There are 2 turns left. Can I make... I mean, is there a way for me to make a 5-letter word and then to make a 4-letter word? Which, I mean, holder would give me 6 letters, but then I'd have to give them... So can I give them a 5-letter word with what I'm looking at? So it's a bit... I can think of a not a word. No, it doesn't quite work. I'm going to just make the word hold. I mean, yeah, we are equal now. So we'll get a bare success. And it feels weird when someone's just not chatting or when they have like one line. It's like, especially for a cooperative game where it is kind of about the communication and they don't even say like hello or have a good game or whatever. But yep. I guess I could have done rows now that I look at it. But if they're not going to put any energy or thought into it, then neither am I. Because I had another person who was playing for the first time and we managed to get 13 points, which was really amazing. And yeah. Are you blaming... Wait. Oh, I missed this comment. Sorry, from like 10 minutes ago. And yeah, I agree with Black Sheep blaming us for what? Oh no, he did see the chat, so like, because if it was like just never replying, then I'd be like, okay, maybe they just never saw it, but you know, they did at least reply at least once. So yeah. Cat Cafe again. Let me see. I didn't get the 5-6 that I was wanting. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. See what happens with my opponents. Oh, Choreo. So this is a game that I've got in real life. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it, partially because the box is a little bit bigger than I'd like. I mean, the box is about this big, but it really should only be this big. But it's a really nice game. It's a game which really benefits from repeated plays. I mean, you play it once and then it's like, yeah, that was okay. There it feels really random, and then you play it again or a second or third time, and then it just becomes better and better. And I played it with some people at London on Board, Choreo, and I think there were like 3 of us, and then a fourth joined, and we played like 4 games of it in a row. And this is why I don't believe that games like Lost Cities or any other game with a good amount of luck should say play this many games, because it should be up to the people. It should be up to you to say, yeah, I enjoyed that, let's keep playing, or no, I'm done with this, let's not keep playing. Sate says, I like the art. Yeah, the art is fantastic. Can I make, yeah, you can see it's a slight bit bigger. So here, it's a triangular deck. Actually, I should say I know someone who's in love with triangular decks. Anyway, there's 1 1, 2 2s, 3 3s, 4 4s, and so forth up to 9 9s. And there's also a bunch of -1 lobbying and -1 barbarians, which my opponent's protected from. At the end of every round, every turn, I guess. So there's 8 turns. At the end of every turn, you have the benefit, during every turn, you have the benefits of all the cards you've got the majority of. Number 1, there's only 1 of, and it gives you 1 point. But it also breaks all the ties. So that can be very helpful. I mean, yeah, like there can be lots of ties. Number 2, there's only 2 of. So if you've got 1 of the 2s, it's unlikely that someone else will be able to neutralize it. So if you've got 1, the only way, and obviously because of the barbarians, actually I should have said at the start, lobbying, you swap yours with someone else's. Barbarians, you destroy someone else's. So you're never quite safe. You're never quite sure what's going to happen. So even if you've got both of the 2s, someone else might have a 1, and someone else might swap one of your 2s with something of theirs. That doesn't really matter too much if they give it to you. And then boom. So the 2s allow you to steal victory points. But you don't start with victory points. You only get victory points if you've got the number 6, which allows you to take stuff. But now that I'm taking something from the bank and then I have to give it to my opponent, that's obviously not great. I really want that too. And I think I've got, the sabotage effect. So anyway, back to the numbers. The number 3 is you get to keep an extra 2 cards, because normally every round you draw fewer and fewer cards, and then you keep more and more cards. So the number of cards in front of you is getting more fixed, and you're kind of solidifying your position as the game goes on. It's really fascinating. Number 4, you get to destroy one of your negative cards, because the negative cards, once you play them, you can't normally discard them. Number 5, you get to play 2 different cards. Normally you can only play 1 type of card, but here you can play 2 different cards, 1 of each. Number 6 is where you're just taking victory points from the bank, which is brilliant unless someone else is nicking it. Number 7 protects you from barbarians, which just straight up destroy one of your things. Number 8 gives you an extra card, which can be kind of helpful. Plus, remember, you're also getting 8 points if you have the majority. And number 9 doesn't give you anything, but it gives you 9 points. And so, at this point in the game, I have to make an interesting decision of what do I want to swap. So clearly I want their number 2. What do I want to give them? Can you please sing back the card names to us from highest to lowest in the tune of 12 Days of Christmas? Not today. But, nah. And there's not even 12 of them anyway. So the spy, I really want that spy. What can I give up? I mean, I guess I could give up the 8 and then we're tied, which isn't too bad, because if I give up anything else, that means that they have majority. So I'm going to swap one of my 8s with their 2. And that means that now I get to steal from them. Maybe I should have given them the 6, because it's not like they would, now they're not going to be getting any more money. So if I get to, I should have given them the 6. That was badly played. Yeah, they only had 1 money, so it was good for me to get it. Anyway. Oh, that's nice. And to you. I like friendly people who, even if it's just like 2 messages, or maybe even if it's just hello, and thanks for the game, it's a little bit of human interaction. And yeah, okay, hate drafting. They want the 4. No, they want the 2, because they can place the 2s on the 2. So I'm going to take the 2s to force them to use some of their cat things. But yeah, I love like just a little simple thing, and that's nice. Okay, anyway. So this game finishes when 3 towers are completed by any player. It feels still a bit far away. They are definitely beating me here. So they've got 2 left to do. I've got 3. I could win that. I could also win this one. I could definitely win this one, but that's only an increase of 1 point. And I only get that increase of 1 point if I play the cat thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I'd get 10 points for it currently, which maybe is not quite enough for my liking. I am going. Okay, so I've got to 2 and a 4. So where's the 4? There are no 4s that I can place on. This is interesting because some of the hexagons are cut out. So you can see there's a 2 missing, there's a 3 missing, there's a 4 missing, and there's a 5 and 2 6s missing. So it feels like there's a little bit of asymmetry between the towers, so it's kind of interesting decisions. I do feel like the number 4 is underpowered, the food bowl, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm missing something. And since I have gone there now, do I actually place a food bowl here? Because if I place a food bowl here, that would help increase the... That would mean that both of these are worth 2 points each. It could be worth easily 3 points if I put something down here as well, because having 2 food bowls, presumably that's, yeah, next to one another actually kind of helps. And this is one thing I don't like about this implementation. I can see my opponent placing their tile first, which I shouldn't be able to do that. I feel like, yeah, it should be like Ticket to Ride or other. When there's simultaneous moves, it should not be revealed until we've both done it. I kind of feel strongly about that, because otherwise, if I wasn't waiting just for the sake of getting them to do their thing. But now I see, well, they're playing here, they're clearly going to finish that one. I've maybe got more incentive to go here onto the 7-3, so I finished that. But yeah, it feels weird to me. Okay, over 6-3. Do I want the chance for 3-3? Do I want the chance? I mean, a 3-3 would give me potentially a butterfly here, which would give me 2 points plus the 3 for the butterfly, because then I'd be getting the points for both of those food bowls. That would be quite nice. The 6-3, what would I do with a 6-3? I guess I would probably convert that into a 6-2, and maybe I would place it on the 7 just to seize the power to have yeah, one more thing on this space, and then that would give me, it would be a net 5 points relative to my opponents, because they would basically go from 8 points to 3 points, because now they're in second place. Conversely, this is 5 points plus I get mitigation. That seems strictly better. And So actually, the 3-3 might be better. Now I'm thinking, okay, does it make a big difference for them? Are they really? I mean, I guess they would like a 6-3 because then they finish up the 9-5, and they're going to do it anyway. I mean, let them do that. I'm going to take that and see what happens. That's something you can file a bug report about. The wanting the player actions revealed at the same time, not offset. Like, I don't even know how to. Like, filing bug reports isn't the easiest thing. I honestly don't. I also don't understand how to set up a tournament. I was hoping to learn because it seemed to be saying that I can set up a tournament, but see, I was, say just if you wanted to come on one day to show how to do, board game arena stuff, we could make it a regular thing in the next while. Type bug in chat there, and you will see a link to the sidebar. That's not intuitive. Seeing the stuff revealed at the same time seems like a bug. Nope. Oh, here. There we go. About again. Okay. What happened? So that's at some point I was unable to access the game interface. It's not that. The rules were followed? Were they? I mean, let's actually check. Because yeah, what does it say? Does it say that you need to show them at the same time? Because if it doesn't, then that's not necessarily more simultaneously. Yeah, it should be simultaneously. Yes, I guess it's his rules not followed. Yeah. So please vote for this. Wrong scoring. Nope. That's the thing. Every move, I'm able to see my opponent's moves if I wait. It should be hidden until I make my move. Moves should be shown simultaneously. There we go. Why must I fill all fields? There's no additional useful information. Every move. I mean, any additional useful information seems like it should be an optional thing. It's not the only way, it's just easy. I mean, yeah, if that's the easiest thing, that feels a bit unintuitive. I mean, I wouldn't have thought to do that. I would have been looking around the page to see, okay, how do I make a... Oh, I just saw it now, report the bug. So yeah. So yeah. Are you not going to say thanks for me reporting the bug? Because there should be an incentive. I think that if your bug's found to be correct, you should get, like, I don't know, some of those gift points, like 10 gift points if you report a bug and it's found to be actually a bug. That would be good, because otherwise, like, I feel like I'm pretty much done with the game. Once I hit 100, I'm not going to keep playing it, so I don't really care that much. I'm not invested in this game being, like, I'm not Well, you suggested that I could file the bug report. Why did you like the bug? Um, are you being serious that you liked it? Because that's going to, yeah, like if you hadn't told me to, I wouldn't have bothered reporting it. And I think that I would like people to report more bugs, like for games that, for couple, if someone finds a bug there, I would like them to be incentivized to report it. And I'm not sure there is enough incentivization right now. Anyway, so I can do the 3 free, and I think I was saying that I would make a butterfly, so let's do that. Okay, start with center. Okay, so this is the game that I played, that I was looking at earlier at the start. Okay. Let's see if I can work it out this time. Everyone else has been able to work it out. I will say that in this game, Break the Code, is it called Break the Code? Yeah, Break the Code. There's one slightly weird thing, which is 2 players, you get to keep guessing. So 2 players, you can keep guessing the code as many times as you want. You don't lose the game because you're guessing what's in the other player's hand, and they will either say yes, in which case you win, or no, in which case you've kind of lost the turn because only they answer your questions. In 3 players, you only get 1 guess, and if you guess wrong, then you're out of the game, but you're trying to be the first. But you've still got the asymmetry of information. Whereas in 4 players, when you ask a question, everyone answers, including you. And that feels kind of weird. Like, okay, if my opponents have been able to guess, I clearly should be able to guess. It's not like, and for someone who likes abstract games, it might be, yeah. It says people already reports lots of erroneous bugs though, so if there was a reward that might increase, especially people making duplicate reports to also get the points instead of upvoting an existing one. That's true. And hello, So Crafty So. I hope that you're generally well, and Happy New Year to you. Lots of love. Vitamin water. It's the breakfast of me. I would say the breakfast of champions, but I don't know what other champions have. And indeed, I don't know if I am a champion, but hey ho. Let's get back to trying to work this out. Okay. The 3 cards on the right add up to 17. And they can't be consecutive numbers. So if it was a 9 and the previous thing was a 7, then to add it up to 17, that would have to be a 1, and that would make the last one. Oh, unless there's duplicate numbers. Maybe that's what I was ignoring the possibility of. So you can't have duplicate ones anyway. So it can't be 971 at the end. It could be 96, which makes it 15, and it could be 2 and 2, or yeah, I think that's what I forgot the possibility of. Or it could be 0269. Yeah, that's what I forgot the possibility of. That you could have duplicate numbers. Okay. And could it be 9 and then 5? No, it definitely couldn't, because then you have to have a 4 to add it up to 17, so that's not viable. I guess it could actually be 9 and 4 and 4. Ah. And then who knows what the other one is? And if it was 8, well, let's just brute force this. 8 and 6 makes 14. So it would be a 3 and something. That's totally viable. 8 and 5 makes 13. Then it would have to be a 4. That's not possible. It could be 774. make 17. It could be 7, 5. No, it couldn't be 7, 5 because then that would be 12. So there would be a 5 remaining. And I've already got 1 5. So it can't be 7, 5. It can't be 6 because then 6 and 4, doesn't leave enough numbers. So these are all the possibilities. I mean, 3 of them have a lot of possibilities remaining, but let's see. Okay, same color. The end 2 have to be the same color. 6 and 9, it's possible. 4 and 9, it's possible. 6 and 8, 7 and 7. Okay, so it's definitely not 7 and 7 because that would break that rule. Okay, that's good. The blacks are worth 4. Okay, so the blacks are worth 4. So I guess both of the end bits have to be white, because if they were black, then they would both have to be black, and that means that the third one must be black, which means that it's either 4, 0, or I guess it could be 3, 1. No, because if it's 2 blacks on the left, then that would be neighboring same color A and B, and C and D. So it has to be this one. It has to be something 4, 4, 9. Yes. All because I remembered that you could have 2 of the same number. That was my downfall. Boom. Yes, finally. Finally. Okay. So this is black, and this is white. And number of even is 3, which means that this is either a 2 or a 0 of white. Okay. Managed to work that out. Hooray. And hey, thank you very much. Excite says, I had leftovers pizza. I ordered a party pack of pizzas because I'm out of food and I can't go to the store because of COVID, so I am eating too much pizza. It sounds like you're eating exactly the amount of pizza that you really want or need. Anyway, so 2 or 0. Okay, let's start off with this one. Consecutive B and C, and the three rightmost are 12. Okay, so 3 rightmost are 12, so that I can't have a 1 on the end, because then that would be only leaving the 0, and that would mean that A and B are also consecutive. So it could be 0 and then 2, 3, 7. That's a possibility, just with those first 2 rules. Some 3 rightmost and consecutive B and C. Could be that. It could be 0 or 1, and then 3, 4. Oh no, it can't be 3, 4, because I've already used the 4s. Could it be 5, 6? No, it can't be 5, 6. So that would leave 11. Okay, so it has to be 0, 2, 3, 7. Wow. I'm fairly sure that's correct. See, this is the thing. It's not like super challenging. And if people had to wait for me, if this was in real life, I would feel really bad. And I'd just be like, at a certain point, you know what? I don't know. But because I'm able to take my time, even though I'm brain dead, and it's taking me a bit longer than I'd like to admit, well, I say I'd like to admit, but then I'd like to force other people to wait, I'm still able to have the joy of this little puzzle. And that's a nice thing. And honestly, that's a nice thing about the 4-player game as well. That's if other people guess before you, okay, I'm going to guess it as well. So 0, 2, 3, 7. How are we doing this? So that 3 has to be black, because I've already got the white 3, so that's the only one that is left. Same color is C and D, which means that 7 must be black as well. That's easy. That means that 2 must be white, because it's a different color, and 0 must be black. Let's just check the other things. Sum of black is 12. Sugar. Oh no. Oh wait. I keep forgetting. You can have two of the same thing. That's a 2. That's a 2. Got it. Boom. There, yeah. I keep thinking that it's going to be in ascending order, but you can have duplicates of the same number. Okay, let's check everything else is right. 2 even. Yes, that's correct. Which means that here, this must be the 0. Because the 2 is gone. So it's a white. There. Okay, so let's see if I can work this out now. I feel a sense of achievement. I mean, if I've made a mistake, then obviously that will evaporate, but I'm feeling pretty good about this so far. And so Crafty Soso says, I just made a salad. Surprised I didn't want more comfort food. You know what? I could totally go for a salad, like cucumber, some tomatoes. I don't have any fresh stuff in fridge, to be honest. The closest I've got is tomato juice. Maybe I'm already all comforted it up. Yep. It sounds good. I mean, I would trade you fish and chips. And yeah, I agree. It's a cool game. I'm enjoying it. And like I say, I'm enjoying the fact that I'm able to take my time. That's the nice thing about playing anything turn-based. This is the one thing. I mean, a real-time game on Board Game Arena feels slightly more similar. I mean, I wouldn't want to play this real-time because I wouldn't want to have to wait whilst someone spends 10 minutes or more thinking about it. And I wouldn't want to have to force other people to wait. But yeah, I'm glad that it's at this pace as well. So let's think about this. Okay, so this is a big clue. The three rightmost add up to 20. So what's possible? So if we've got a 9, it could be an 8 and then a 3, but no, it can't because the 3s are gone. It could be a 7 and a 4, but no. It could be a 6 and a 5. And 5, 6, 9. That adds up to 20. Is that the only possibility? I think, what's about the 8? So that would 5, 7, 8 would also lead to 20. Oops, I meant to type 8 there. 5, 7, 8. That adds up to 20 because the sum of the three rightmost numbers are adding up to 20. So yeah, it can't be a 7 because the only things left are 7, 6, 5. Okay. So neighboring same color, C and D. 6 and 9 could not be the same color. 7 and 8 could, which means that I'm left with the idea that it's an 8 of white here, and a 7 of white here, and a 5, which is always green, in the middle. Because here you see all the possible cards, and I'm making marks and crossing them off to try and work out what these 4 cards unused are. So 5, 7, and 8. Okay, the sum of the black is 0. Okay, so this could be a white 1 or a black 0. And the number of evens is 1, which means it must be a white 1 because 0 counts as even. So I think I've worked it out. Is it a black 0, a white 6, black 8, and black 9 are the remaining things? I guessed correctly. Hooray. So I've got 2 points, same as Mumaklem. Okay, that was really satisfying. And that took me quite a while, but that's the kind of thing that you just wouldn't get. Could I put the link later? Do you want I can put the link to the game if you want to come and observe. So yeah, that's the link to the game. Is that the link that you meant, So Crafty So? Let me know if you meant something different. But yeah, also reminding myself to ooh, ooh, ooh. I'll also do quick gets up and boom. Hey, okay. So that is my quick dancing stretch, and you are very welcome. And I hope that you enjoy it yourself. And if you want to invite me to a game, like maybe put it like one move every 2 days. While I'm sick, I will probably play more often, but if I'm well, then I will, yeah. But it seems to be a fairly popular game, and I think it's this kind of deduction game seems ideally suited to Board Game Arena. And Xate, if you're talking to me, Scythe is not something that I want to play right now. I'd like to do something a little bit more on the simpler side. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Board Game Arena things, it feels like lower strategy actually works better for the way that, because then I don't need to remember stuff between turns so much. Okay, so again, it makes no difference which die I choose. Choose a die for the location. Oh, Sate. Yeah, talking about the achievements for doing bugs. What if anyone who votes on the bug report that is correct also gets an achievement, like, or gets some small points? But if you vote, I mean, is there the option to penalize people? Like, because you don't want people just to spam yes, yes, yes to everything. But is there an option to, I don't know, if someone votes for, let's say, 5 things wrongly, then they just can't vote for bug reports for like a number of months. I don't know, something like that. Oh, in Vindication. Oh, in real life, yeah, I'd be up for Scythe. And I don't know Vindication, but I'd be up for playing whatever. And so, yeah, that sounds good. And Timmy says, a programmer more experienced than me chirped me for using a map to represent voxels for my voxel prototype. So now I'm trying to figure out how to do it all with a regular 1D array. I mean, that sounds a bit above my head. I got to pointers and I was like, yeah, this is too much for me. I am out of here. I am not a programming person, but I mean, yeah, for me, I was basically just programming, like, even if I had the most inefficient code, or even if my stuff was like really, you know, as long as the game functioned, that's all I cared about. Adding rewards is very low on our priorities. We are trying to improve the function of sites in general. Fair enough. Anyway, so 1-1. What can I do? Oh, I could do a little cat's house. Maybe it's time for me to do the cat's house. That feels nice. And also, then I would potentially be able to get a nice score on the middle column. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not as many balls of yarn as I normally like for a cat's house. And I am tempted to do a second ball of yarn, but then I might not be able to do a cat's house later. So, yeah, I'm going to do the cat's house because do the house. 10 points. I mean, I could have got some. Oh, I'm up for that. And I would very happily have a 1 and then take the 2, which means that I would then get a ball of yarn up there. I would very much be up for that. And also, I'm noticing that now these balls that I kind of poo-pooed in the past are both scoring 4 points for the yarn, butterfly, bowl, and cat house here. Mouse, butterfly, bowl, and cat house on that side. It does feel like having two of them adjacent does simplify things, and there is a little bit of emergent satisfaction. Okay, final round of this game. What am I doing? Maybe I discard the 2 because that's probably... I tempted to just go all out in the greens, but to get some reassurance first before I really start that. But maybe I just need to go for it. I think I just need to go for it. Okay. I am going to play my +2, and then I'm not allowed to use it. What? Oh, I'm not allowed to use it. That's sad times. I didn't know that. Oh well. I mean, it's still a good thing to do, I think. It means that I'm more likely to be able to get double 2 of things that matter. See that I think Josie's watching, and Josie's also playing this game, so I'm not going to talk too much about what's in my hand. But if you look up, you can see that green's in a really, really strong position. If either of the green players have either of the cross players, sorry, I should have said, have a green cross, then they win just by placing the green cross on the yellow cross. Boom. But hopefully Josie doesn't, and hopefully Win-Win can cover something on the bottom there. That would be good. Like if it's a yellow X, then I'm in a yellow O, then over there, or we'll see what happens. I mean, it's high enough luck that I don't put too much stock into it. Okay, so I didn't get the 6-1. I am going to do the 6-6, I think. Or maybe the 6-5. Yep. I'll do the 5. That gives me 6 points. Plus, it means that I'm still really holding out for the mice. I really need a 6-5 at some point, which I understand I could have actually just... maybe I missed my opportunity. Maybe that was a bad play. Hopefully I'll get another 6-5 at some point, especially since I've got the 4 little markers, and I did want to prioritize that. How long is the game going to last? Well, it could last 1, 2, 3 turns at minimum. And I'm actually also able to finish it in 1, 2, 3 turns myself. Interesting. And Josie says, I am watching, but I have been trying to ignore your moves in this game. Thank you very much for trying to keep it fair. I appreciate that. See, shifting stones, that's what I'm talking about. Completely random. Like I just get a bonus windfall of 1 point, and it's like, why would I not do that? And then, okay, so I can get 2 points by doing 1 move here. Can I get this 3 points? Move the orange to here, flip, and move down the purple. No, that's a bit too much. I could get 2 points with 2 moves or 2 points with 1 move, but since I'm left with... unless I wanted to keep this 2 point, one of them as a backup, and if I did, then they're both equally... So I'm doing this one so that I scored a 2 point... Oh no, didn't mean to undo. I meant to click. Phew, thank goodness it allows me to undo that. Phew. And I'll keep this, even though I could just use it as a random move. And sometimes it's worth, I find, just getting rid of one of your cards as a completely random move, just to get more opportunities. But this, it's like, is this better than my expectation value? It's about as good. So I'm going to take this as a failsafe and see what I get. And end the turn. I mean, like right now, if I... Wow. Yeah, I'd be able to score this, and then I'd use the other two cards as actions to score the other 2 points. That's what I would currently do. But obviously everything might change, and that's where, again, Shifting Stones multiplayer, I think I would just get a bit tired of it and disengaged if I were playing in real life. Ooh, this is exciting. This is Via Magica. Okay, so Via Magica. So we're starting a new game. I feel like this game has a lot of luck in it. I mean, I'm selfishly glad to see that neither of us has the wild thing. So what's going to happen during this game is this is a bag, and we have like 6 air, 5 water, 4 earth, 3 life, 2 fire, 1 shadow, and 2 of the wild cards. Draw tiles out one at a time. For each tile that's drawn, both players can put a little crystal onto one of the matching tile spaces. So if an air tile is drawn, I would be able to put it, for example, onto one of these spaces because this is a little air symbol. At some point, a wild will be drawn and you put it wherever you want. And then all the tiles go back into the bag and you start again. So you're going to keep drawing things out of the bag like a good number of times during the game. And you're trying to finish these things. You've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to start off with. There are some tiles that give you some portals. Like all of these cards are called portals, and there are some that just give you straight up points for having completed. Once you place a crystal on all of the areas, that's it completed. You get those crystals back, and you can only really work on 2 out of the 3 that you've got going on, because with only 7 crystals, you don't have enough to use all 3 of them. It's kind of going to be a bit inefficient if you try to do that. And something that actually turns stuff into wild cards is really powerful. I mean, this is a bit rubbish because there's only 1 of the black things in the bag, and you might want the black as a black anyway. And so unless you do, then having it as a wild, especially given that this only gives you 3 points, not so great. Conversely, the ones that let you take the blue or the white as a wild, those just feel amazing. And I've played a few games of this, and it feels like if I start the game with one of those or both of those, then I feel like, yeah, I've got a much better chance of winning. And those are the blue permanent effects. You can see the little infinity sign on the bottom corner. You've got the little crowns, which are just straight up points. 8 points for this one, 15 points for this one. This one you only need 6 for, which is only 1 more than this one, but this one, they are more likely to come up. You can see on the row, like here's one with 14, and you only need 5 for, but again, it's the blacks. And sorry, what are the blacks actually called? Shadow. Okay, it's the shadow. And then the shadow, you've only got 1 of in the bag, so it might not come up. But if you've got something that turns the blue and whites, or indeed earths, into wild, I should say, what are they called again? Air, water, or earth. If you've got some of them turning them wild, then boom, you can do that so easily, and it just gives you a real leg up. So yeah, what should I keep? So here, this allows me to place 2 crystals onto fire if I get it. So if I have other things with fire on them, it's kind of only costing me 2 moves to get this 3 points, which is good, but could be better. And it really combos well if I've got another couple of things with fire, but I currently don't. This one, ooh, I get to place 2 things on shadow spaces. That could be very nice, especially if I combo it with that. Yeah, I'm very tempted by that. Here, I get my 6 points, plus I place 1 crystal on any space I want. That's got nice versatility. And here, each open green gives me 3 points. Yeah, unless I had a lot of green, these variable scoring things are... You need to have a strong commitment to something, it feels like. So I'm going to go for this one because of flexibility. I'm going to go for this one because, say, 15 points seems quite reasonable if I get that far, and this one because I'm thinking I'm going to go here, but now I'm going to check, do I have all the things represented? I need to make sure that if I've got air, I've got somewhere to place. If I've got water, I've got somewhere to place. If I've got earth, and if I've got life, I've only got 1 life place, but that's probably okay. I'm going to stick with that, and we will see what happens. So now Josie's already picked, and Josie picked this one where every blue portal is going to get 4 points. Oh, that would be very nice if he gets lots of blue portals. Every fire portal, I'm assuming it counts itself, so that could be like 9 points right off the bat. That feels very reasonable. And, oh, that's a slightly more powerful version than this one. I mean, this one only costs 4 spaces, gives me 6 points, gives me 1 bonus crystal. This costs 5 spaces, gives 3 points, or I guess costs 3 net for 3 points, 3 net for 6 points. Actually, my one feels a little bit better. I feel amazingly fortunate to have this one, I'm not going to lie. So, yep, click that, click the crystal, and that's my turn done. Cat Cafe. Back to Cat Cafe. What am I doing here? Makes no difference for me what I choose, so I'm going to ponder my opponent. They clearly don't want the 6, so I'll force them to take it. So, yep. Number 6 and 2. So I could place a mouse in number 2, which, if I ever get to number 5, would make that pointless. I could place... I mean, that seems like a terrible move just because it's using 3 of my luck mitigation paws. But is there anything better that I can do? I don't want to just pass at this point. I mean, the game feels like it's almost done. Let's see. Can I go anywhere else? I could go for a 6 here and place a cat. What would my cat houses be like at this point? I would have 6 for the mice, or 6 for the butterflies, I guess. Yeah, that feels like it could be okay, but this mouse is basically raising me from 8 points to 20. That's giving me 12 points. That's an awful lot. And yeah, again, I shouldn't be able to see that. Anyway, so I am kind of tempted by a cat house for the 8 points, hoping to get... So I know at this point the game only has 2 turns left. Am I likely to get something closer to this? And also, I'm thinking in my head, if I do go for the 5, I can maybe be the one to finish this and get snaffle the 8 points. You know what? Oh wait, that's 4. If I go there, that's -1 for that, and yeah, I don't know if I want to use that many. I think I'm going to go for... No, that's only 6 points. It's still not great. 6 points feels really rubbish. And then my opponent's going to finish, and I won't even get that. Decisions. Let's go for the cat's house and one of the ones where I'm going to get 6 points. Probably the butterfly, because okay, 2 and again I would like a 5 and 6. Oh, I should have been using the 2 for the position. I totally messed that up. Damn. Okay. Using the 2 and the 3 would give me 3 points, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I think that was a game loss. For 2 more paws, I could have had a mouse there. I really, really need the mouse. If I 5-1, nope, I'm not going to get 5 and 6. I guess I might get a 2 and 3. I mean, if I get to 2, at least I can place anything in there. So, and if I place a 4, then that's 1, 2, 3, 4 points. That would be pretty good, actually. Yep, let's see what happens. Okay. Lost cities. I feel like I should probably wind down at some point, and you know what? I need to take some big risks in this game. So I am going to go all out for the greens and also the whites because I've got the double, so I'm going to go all out because that's the only way that I'll possibly stand a chance of catching up. I'm clearly going to use this for location and grab the 4 like I said I would do and let my opponent pick the table. Back to my shelfie. This is a totally different one where we need 4 similar things in squares and 4 similar things in the corners. The corners are going to come in very late for sure. And how do I fit in similar things into a square? Well, I could take a blue. Blue here would be kind of useful. Dark blue. I could just go for 1 yellow, and 1 other color to go here to have access to yellows later on. If there were 3 things, including a green, then I would have gone for that. But if there's 3 things, including a blue, like double square. This one actually seems kind of tricky. Not gonna lie. Oh, if I had something blue and white, that would be amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of scrolling down, and this is where being able to move my thing and keep both of them in my vision. Can I actually make it smaller? Oh, there we go. Amazing. Perfect. Just using the so what I really have access to is the pinks, the blues. That's not very helpful. If I want the yellow, I am going to have to take less stuff than I would like. Okay, if I take those 2, at least my opponent doesn't get a choice of more stuff, whereas if I take this, then suddenly they can take all 3 of those. I mean, my opponent isn't going for blues anyway. They're all about the greens. So I'm going to go for blue and yellow here, hoping that they leave the other things, I guess. Yeah. If I do that, I only need 2 more things up here. Yeah, I'm taking those. Second tile gets that one, and then that one, and hopefully helping me towards a square of blue stuff. We'll see what happens. This is the same game where trying to work out how to... Ooh, makes no difference what I pick. 5 and 6. Okay, so I think I might get a worse thing next time, so I'm going to go for it. Get the mouse, and I've got my 12 points for that. I mean, between 6 plus 2 versus 20. I think that made a big difference to my score, and if I manage to... I do get first pick next turn. If I manage to get to 1, that would be really good. Ah, yes, this is a really fascinating abstract strategy game. I've no idea what's going on here. I think Taxate might like this. So you're placing squares, like I could place there, or there, or there, or pretty much anywhere I want. Obviously not on top of the other people. But each shape that you make, and you can only make shapes up to 4 big, every possible shape can be eaten by something else. So if you've got a 1, you can eat it with a 2. And that's... So like... But once a 1 has been... Let me actually replay the whole thing. And yes, I used 2 of my time jokers because I was curious and when they refresh. So you start off just placing stuff around, making sure that we're at least 2 spaces away, because if we weren't 2 spaces away, then the other person would be able to just move up slightly, and then we'd be able to capture them. So then my opponent places there, at which point, boom, I go up there and eat them. And I've eaten 1 item, and now I've got 1 point out of 20. I've got to try and eat 20 things. Now, if my opponent were to place here, they would, or indeed if they were to place here, they would make this shape, and this shape then consumes my 2 in a row. So either I just have to be, okay, fine, you're going to eat me, or I have to change it into, for example, this shape, or which could be eaten by that, which they could make, or I could turn it into that shape, which would restrict what's going on here, which might not be terrible. And they yeah, I don't think they can make that shape with what they've already got. Or indeed, I could turn it into that, and that would also be hard for them to create. Any of those would be good. I'm not sure which one. I am going to go this way round. And I'm definitely at the point of just feeling out the strategy and seeing what happens, and it's still a joy. No, it's not a Mark Steer game. It's a by Nick. It doesn't say. I feel like the things should say rules. Nick Bentley, that's the one. Nick Bentley. Yeah. Nick Bentley also does lots of abstracts. Is it my turn? Or is it just because it's replaying? But yeah, what did you think of it, Sate? I'm curious. The Marsh to Crab. Okay, so we've got... I have to play something on the row. This is a pebble card, which... Okay, I think we don't need to go this way, so I'll place it there. And I will pass, so that hopefully my partner comes back to the right. There we go. Okay, choreo, again. This is a different game. I've got the tying for get win all ties card. Oh, tempted to do the freeze because that's quite a nice thing, especially early in the game. I could do the 5, and if I've got just 1 5, then that's kind of annoying my opponents, so that would be nice. Yeah, but if I've got the freeze, then that's kind of probably guaranteeing me that. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, my opponent played the sabotage. Fair enough. Forbidden Island. I'm playing with Monique, who's super lovely, and capture treasure. You always want to capture the treasure if you can, surely. And Monique is ready to take the green thing. We are waiting on 2 more treasures. Monique's almost finished one of them. We need 2 more cards between us for the other one. I guess I really need to go down and probably shore up something. I don't know how to prioritize what to shore up, but we definitely need access to these 2. I can't get to them. Could we just forget about everything on... Wait. Oh, I've got... Yeah. I moved twice, so that was me. Ah, well. Oh no, waters rise. And we're drawing free floods. Oh no, Monique has to move somewhere. Oh, that's challenging. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of 50-50 whether we'll make it. I'm glad we started off on the easier difficulty. And here I'm just going to go all in on the greens. Let's see how that goes. Oh, another break the code puzzle. And it says that Circle of Life was fine. So not a particularly glowing endorsement there. And I didn't enjoy the crabs. And I hope that you enjoy your coffee, and all the best with your tidying up. I hope that I managed to provide you with encouragement and, I don't know, power or energy or whatever. Yeah, all the best, and I hope that you are getting things sorted in a way you'd like for this year. Timmy says, I found a free plugin that gives me a bunch of handy array functions that might help. Well, all the best with your coding. I remember you said you'd do it in a one-dimensional array, so yeah, the best with that. So yeah, I'd decided that there's a ridiculous amount of possibilities. The centrals is 18, and there's no 6s. Okay. Is there a lot of possibilities for 18? So the centrals, there's 3 tiles, and all I need to work out is what 5 tiles my opponent has. And Grimwald really thinks I've got 1, 2, 4, 4, 5, so they're quite far off. Centrals could be 0. Could it be a 0? No, because then it would be 9, 9, and you can't have 9 as... No, then it can't go up, because they always have to be in ascending order unless they're in of the same value, and I think it's just random at that point. So it can't be 9. The second one can't be 0. It could be a 1 and then 8, 9. Yeah. So basically, it could be anything. It could be, well, anything that isn't already gone. It could be like 2, 7, 9. Well, not 2, 7, because there's no 2 7s, but 3, 6, 9. Or indeed 4, 5, 9. Or something with an 8. 3, 5, 8. What would... Yeah, 8, 3, 8, 8. Yeah, it could be basically anything. I mean, there could be 7s in there. 4, 7, 7. Yeah, that doesn't give me any thing to focus on. But I do know the sum is 27. So that means that the top plus the bottom is 9. So any of these could be 9 and 0. It could also be 8 and 1. Could I have 6 as a top thing? Like, could it be 6, 5? Or centrals, that's 11, 18, no. So it doesn't really tell me much, but this one's either 8 or 9. This, could it be 7? No, it could be 7, 6, 5. So it could also be 7. I mean, yeah, basically I don't know anything. Okay. The whites are 24. Okay, there's no 6s. There's definitely no 6s. Okay, so if there's no 6s and the centrals are 18, how many possibilities are there really? I mean, let's go through them. If it's a 1, it has to be 8 and 9. It can't be a 2. If it's a 3, it has to be 8 and 8. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. No, it could be 3, 7, 9. If it's a 4, then you need 14, so it has to be, yeah, 4, 7, 7 could work. 4, 5, 9. Yeah. But and 5 could be 5, 5, 8. So I think that is literally all the possibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's naturally with these 6s, I know that there's no 6s, so I can definitely cross that off in terms of that's not what I'm looking for. Huh. And 1, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, this could be anywhere from a 1, 2, 3, or 4. So basically, I don't really know much. Still, some of the whites being 24, does that tell me that it couldn't be? If it was 189, that would be 17, 16. So actually it can't be 189 because, yeah, there's only, that would be at most 17, 18, so it can't add up to 24. It needs to be high enough that the bottom thing, yeah, with, and so 388, if there was a 9 at the, a white 9 at the top, that would be 17, 20. No, that's a black 3. This one isn't possible either. Oh wow. That's a lot of things being eliminated. And 379. So that would be 19. And no, it can't be the 379. It can't be the 558 because then that would only leave 9 and 4. So, oh, and none of them are white. So, yeah, if it's 24, it has to be quite high. 9, 10. Actually, it has to be 7, 8, and 9. That's the only way that it can add up to 24. Yeah, 7, 8, and 9 have to be in there. That, I didn't realize that that gave me that much information. So if I know that there has to be a 7, 8, and 9, did I make a mistake with the 15? Yeah, clear that. So if it were to be 9 and then 8 and then 7 white, because that's the only thing that it can be, then the centrals for 18, that's 15. This would be 3 of black. And then that means that the sum, which has to be 27, 9, 17, 24, 27, that means that this has to be a 0. So that is indeed 27. Number of 6s, there's none. So it's basically 0 black or 0 white. So it's 50-50. So at this point I should guess, for sure. 0 white, 3 black, 7, 8, 9 of white. Okay, so I'm fairly sure that's 0 black now, and that's what I will guess. Was 50-50, guess other. Yeah, that's my note to myself just from my memory. I feel quite good about that. And yeah, to me, there's no reason to rewrite code if you don't have to, 100%. You got it. Chuck in the 2, see what comes up. Okay, so yellow is guaranteed to be 20 at least for me. I am tempted to start off on that, but at the same time, I need to make up a lot of points. Okay, let's see how this is doing. Yep, I'm fairly sure. Yep, this is definitely going to lose. Oh. Where did that move from? Oh, I see, because I moved it there, and then now that hand doesn't need to block this one anymore. But I probably do still want to get it out of the way, just so that it's not... If I move it here, they're going to move the beetle onto it, so pinning me down. So I definitely want to get that out of the way. Unless let's so I can play that grasshopper up there. That doesn't necessarily move me forwards, but it if I move an ant here, then the grasshopper can go boom. No, that doesn't help. I need 1, 2, 3 more things. The beetle will have to make its way across. That's realistically never going to happen. Yeah, I'm just... see what happens. Fairly sure I've lost that. And, oh yeah, patchwork. Delightful wee game. It's really fascinating because patchwork, being a perfect information game, like there is zero luck. I mean, but it's actually quite complex. There's quite a lot of moving parts, and there's a large amount of stretching time, stretching time, stretching time, stretching time. Like the button economy, do you pay your points or do you pay your time resource, which is the one thing that you can't get more of? You can never get more of time, but then and you can see that like any button on a thing is worth about as many points as there are things remaining. So like at this point, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 button income spaces left. So if I were to grab this one, for example, it's giving me a return of 5 buttons. But, and yeah, I'm blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These patches also add a really interesting wrinkle in that I might want to actually move forwards 5. And if I move forwards 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's basically meaning that my opponent gets the patch, which is really unsatisfying. Now, I only have 2 options. Do I take this? Do I maybe put it here, filling in these spaces, and then I would have potentially a L. Is there an L even left? 2 by 1? Nope, the L is not there. So I would kind of be relying on 2 little patches to allow me to finish that off. But yeah, I'm just going to play it fast and loose and see what happens. Well, actually, could I? No, I can't. Let's move the patch. Let's move the patch. It's a patchwork, and let's not be a jerk. That's the patchwork song. Okay. Marsh the crab. Okay, place the baddie. Ignore the left. And move down, and I free the crab. Hooray! So, yes, it's either this guitar or this tin, or this other thing. I honestly don't know which one. But yeah, hopefully my opponent has realized that it can't be this thing. Anyway, my city, been a while since I played this. I guess I can just go there, cover that top. Ooh. Or I could go there, but then that means that what's actually left? That's the important thing. If I go here to cover this up, is there a double red? Oh, I was thinking about doing the double red here. Yeah, so I wouldn't ever cover that up. But if I had some... oh, yes, I do have a triple red. And a triple red would indeed mean that both of these things score. So I'm going to, yeah, probably place that there. And yeah, I'm thinking double yellow here, double reds here, and you know, reds could go here potentially. Boom, there we go. And I like this simultaneous play because then we've got the little red corner over here, maybe a blue corner over there, or blue corner over there actually would be better, because then I'd have 4 points for the 4 matching blue. Yeah. And finally, me against Josie. This is the final game. So clearly going to go for the fire because that's the rare one. And then clearly going to go for that because that's basically the only option. And that is the end. What did we... Did we finish that? Ah, they triggered the end of the game. Oh, it's 92, 98. I want... Let's see if it shows the... replay the last turn. How did that turn out? So I played a 4-4 and was hoping to finish that row, but it never quite happened because, yeah, I think that cat house on column number 2 was my mistake. But yeah, there you go. Ah well. Yes. And I let them have the majorities of the balls of yarn. Yeah, the one thing that I actually scored better at were the mice. But yes, that is the end of everything. And so I'm going to say, for now, that's the end. And let me... Question of the day. Ask a little question before we go on our way. Question of the day. So my question of the day is, do you have a favorite game on Board Game Arena right now? I don't know what I would say. I mean, I do like Hive. I think that I'm quite happy playing it without all the expansions. The pill bug adds so much, and I'm really feeling like there's obviously a lot to uncover, and yeah, I'm really getting into it. Black Sheep says, I'm liking Catan real time and laters. Is that because you're going, or is that just because you thought I was going right now? Yeah, Catan's all right. Not... you know what I really like turn-based is that I did overplay it last winter when I got COVID, but that Railway Inc. You know the one I mean. You can play it with only logging on like 3-4 times, because I'd take a move and then they'd take the same move to catch up and then do the next move, and then I'd log on and then do that next move and the following one, and you're essentially playing 2 turns every time you go, and there's not that many turns to play. So I think that it's really nice how every time you play, it feels like, okay, wow, I made a really meaningful thing. It's always a bit sad to me if I'm playing a turn-based game and it's, hooray, I've got a thing, and then I log on, and then it's like Via Magica where I can only click one particular location. It's like, why did you even summon me? And Josie says, I have a few Railroad Inks going at the moment. It's fun, turn-based online. Yeah, I agree. And I think that the nice thing there is that you know you're going to get a thing. I mean, I would be up for, a move every couple of days with that. And it's, yeah, Railroad Ink plays well on BGA. I like My City on BGA. My City's all right. I'm not so into that. I felt like Board Game Arena, it's the rules of the endless mode aren't quite as clear as they could be. I wish that it had tooltips on the implementation. Like, I couldn't remember if in the Eternal mode the gold meant anything or not, and I'm still not sure. And I think that the tooltips are such a nice thing when, whoa, there's so much to see. Well, you roll over like the mark. Oh, this is what this does. Just roll over and you'll find out what this special effect is. You can open them anytime. What do you mean you can open what anytime? It's a button at the top of the screen. What button? Honestly, don't know what you mean. But the chapter rules. Nope, yeah, again, like, this is the only thing I could do. So, like, there's no reason for Josie to have waited for me. And again, this is the only thing I can do. So there's no reason to wait for me. But so if I go to, where is it? The My City. Say it's a button at the top of the screen. I don't see which button you mean. Oh, Eternal Game. Ah! First with both. Okay. Yep. Thank you for that pointer. Each tree. Yep. Number of buildings in largest group of each color is plus that many buildings. Yep. Okay. So it was plus 3 points. I've probably not done brilliantly, but we'll see. I mean, my opponent's thing seems a bit more scattered, but 1, 2, 3, we've both got, I've covered up 2 trees, so I'm getting 2 fewer points there. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and I saw the tiles left. I mean, that's super important. So yeah, I do find it easier to organize the tiles when I can organize it myself physically. But yeah, I mean, that's a nice thing, I guess, a legacy game which can be played through the whole thing. So it gets rid of the environmental concerns and all that. And I'd absolutely be up for playing My City through the chapter with someone that I do think that turn-based, I prefer it to be I prefer it to be with one player, because if it's 3, you're kind of just relying on others. It doesn't feel like there's a big, other than the social aspect of being around the same table, it's low interaction enough that there's no reason to have multiple people in My City. Yeah, sure, if you send me a invite, I will accept that. But yeah, question of the day, what's your favorite thing on Board Game Arena? So yeah, Black Sheep said Catan Real Time. Josie, yeah, said that Railroad Inc. Black Sheep said Railroad Inc. plays well. Sate said My City. And how about a group game between the three of us that play Board Game Arena and chats with you on stream generally? It could work. Like, again, it's, you know what? If we were going for a group game, let's play something that actually plays well because it's a group. Like, what brain games that I just for sale plays well as a group. Yeah, Josie just meant a turn-based game. I don't think Josie meant for it to be for you to join in the stream. But if you're up for that, then I will, yeah, start a game of for sale if you're up for that. But when you say you prefer not to be streamed, do you mean that the awareness that I'm probably not going to make a regular habit of this. This was a one-off. I mean, it took me a while to go through, and this was basically filler content. I prefer my games not being on streams. I don't mind coming on in person. Fair enough. Yeah. That's yeah, I'm up for that. But over to you. What are you up to? You can share Boston if you want to. What are you up to today? I was hoping to have someone come over, my ex-housemate today. I don't know if that will happen. I'll actually send a message just now. And why are you coming over? Question mark. So if they're coming over, then do stuff together. Either way, I'm going to try and get out. I'm going to try and, but also be, and that's the balance, isn't it? Being kind to yourself versus getting stuff done. I mean, how do you know when you're just being a lazy arse and when you actually need a rest? You know what I mean? But yeah, I am going to be sort of, yeah. I am going to be messaging Bez to make sure Bez is buying a flight. Oh yeah, I should totally do that. Flights to Leipzig, is that where I'm going? Yeah, London to Leipzig. And yeah, I will check it out after this show. I'd forget Bez to do this, not do so and come. LEJ. Yes, Leipzig, Germany. That's what it says on Google. LEJ. So, okay, so it looks like Ryanair, there's still some cheap flights, so that's good. But I have to check the dates and everything. But yeah, that's the one thing that I'm going to get myself to do right after this stream. Other than that, well, I mean, I will have a look very quickly. Ryanair, going to Leipzig. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely in Leipzig. I mean, it was on the drop-down menu, so it's definitely available. Although it does only fly 3 times a week, so there's only 3 flights a week, which is fair enough. So I would have to. When was I meant to go anyway? Anyway, that's something that I can do afterwards, and maybe chat to Xate about it afterwards. But yeah, that's the one thing that I'm definitely going to do. How about you? Is there something that you want to share? Is there something you want to do or you need to do? I promise that I care. Yes. And it says it's okay, you don't need to fly to Leipzig 4 times a week. Actually, just once is enough. Yeah, true. But I am noticing that I can't come on the Saturday. So that's a bit of a disappointment. According to Ryanair. No, was it going to go? 28th or 29th. So, no, I 29th to 13th, I think, was what we said. And according to the website, right now, wow. Oh no, that's just one way. It's £45 and there's 5 seats left. That feels like a really good deal. I mean, other things do exist, but that's a totally reasonable time to arrive. I mean, it's a little bit later than ideal. It does mean that I don't get to join in Xate on the Sunday daytime games, but that's a good price. I think I should buy that. What do you think? Like that feels like yeah. I mean, I'll be back home by midnight. I'll know my way back using London public transport, and 4 o'clock isn't too bad a time. I mean, to arrive. Um, yeah, should I get that? Feel free to vote. But anyway, back to Board Game Arena and recap and wrap up before we finish up. I guess there's a lot of games on Board Game Arena, and if I go back to the tables list, no, I want to go back to the tables list. Yes, I will accept that in a minute. But Choreo, I love this game. I think it's fascinating. Couple, obviously, I'm biased, but I enjoy it. For Sale, that's really good. I think that playing it with 4 players or 5 players, it definitely feels different. And you want to learn other people. I would definitely be up for Sale. Sate, Josie, and Black Sheep, are you up for a game of For Sale? Let me know. Lost Cities, honestly, it's not my favorite. I feel like I have to keep playing it to make sure that I've got the thing. Sushi Go, it's all right. I mean, it's with 5 people. I'm not enjoying it so much because you can't keep track of what was passed around. But there's and with 2 or 3, it feels a lot more strategic, especially with 2 when it's like, oh, first turn, I don't know what's in the other person's hands, but second turn, okay, now I'm going to start planning everything. 2 or 3 is my favorite way to play Sushi Go. And sure, there's some cards that are worth 1 versus other things that are worth 3, and it's like very oh, I cool, got an achievement, awesome. But yeah, sure, there's like inequality in what you can pick, but I think that's part of the joy of the game and the tension of, will I get my third thing to score me 10 total points, which is a good result, versus the 2 5s. That's still not a great result. It feels like the wasabi is generally good, but you're never too sure. And like the ones are just, yeah, if there's nothing else good to take. But so aside from the ones which do feel a little bit weird, but again, given that it's meant to be a really approachable game, it's okay to have a couple of cards in your hand that are taken out of consideration. Sushi Go Party, yeah, I enjoy it. Tic Tac Match, it's all right. I don't see any benefit in having 4 players versus 2. I think in future I would always play with 2 players, and I would actually, yeah, just not join in any of the games with 4 players in future. But it's a nice mixture of a little bit of thoughtfulness and a teeny tiny bit of tactic strategy, but a good amount of luck. It feels like one small step up from Uno almost. Marsh the Crab, yeah, it's all right. I'm curious to keep playing it. Sobek, it really annoys me that I don't know the distribution of the tiles the more I play. And so I'm going to go on Board Game Arena to find out. Break the code. Actually, I think this is my favorite game on Board Game Arena right now, because it's one of those games that I think if I would not choose to play this in real life. I know that if I were playing against David Brain and Ellie Dix and someone else, like Ellie and David would win absolutely. But more importantly, either like I just say, well, I'm never going to even bother working anything out, or they need to wait like half an hour for me, which is just not going to be fun for them. Whereas here, I can have the satisfaction of working out this puzzle, which is really nice. And a quick, let me and say it's talking about. Let me actually catch up with the chat a wee bit. Hello, Michael. It's lovely to see you. And sorry, I was in a wee bit of flow and didn't get to you when you jumped in. Buckside says it's sad if you miss Sunday, but Judith is normally here until 9, so hopefully, yeah. Friday, I would rather be in London on Friday to be London playtesting. So I was thinking we've already got a lot of time together, and I know that I would be sad about missing Friday playtesting. So especially if Judith is going to be around for a while. Black Sheep says, in fact, throw me an invite to any game you want to play. Seems also. So everyone's a Board Game Arena junkie. How about you, Michael? Hello, Michael. Would you like to join us for a game of For Sale on Board Game Arena? Josie, would you like to join me on Board Game Arena? Let me actually check when the Friday thing is. I'd real time but set to turn based the crew or the crew 2 today. I'm not sure. What? Hell yeah, I'm up for some Board Game Arena. I was going to stream, but I'll play. I didn't mean like real time necessarily. I just meant like a turn based bits of For Sale. Like, is that a game you like? Do you like For Sale? What's your opinion? I'm a big fan of For Sale. I think like Stefan Dorr, like that's just a brilliant game. We've decided that I need to work out my flights to Leipzig before they go up in price. And on Fridays, it's going too early in the morning. A real sleeper hit, says Michael. Yeah, I will do that. So, yeah, Josie, it's up to you if you want to join in or not. Anyway, Forbidden Island, it's a nice wee thing. My City, yeah, it works well. Chakra, this is a beautiful game, even though I'm not very good at it. Downforce, I'm actually not too fond of, to be honest. I've played it enough to be able to say, yeah, I've experienced it. And that's why I kind of say 100 ELO, because I feel like 100 ELO, it's kind of an arbitrary point where I can say, yeah, I've played it enough to understand it, because by that point, I've won a few games. Hive, an amazing game. John Yanni, I mean, such a good design. And the boardless nature apparently came in what John considers divine inspiration. I was told that by John. I'd love to have John on the show. Not really, I don't really speak to them much outside of conventions. Circle of Life, I'm enjoying this. Like, honestly, if anyone wants to play an abstract game where I have no idea what I'm doing, join me for the first Circle of Life. Via Magica, I was enjoying this, but I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit less. It feels like the luck quotient is a little bit too high for my liking, and I feel like at a certain point, like halfway through the game, I often feel like, well, either I've won because I've had really good cards, or I've lost because I've not had access to cards. Shifting Stones, really pleasant. My Shelfies, not sure about. Noves on Salvador, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm not going to talk about them. Oh yeah, Simulu, always fun, and Sensei, I'm still really enjoying that. So yeah, that is my analysis of all my things. And Michael says, yeah, For Sale, when it's, for so many people, it's under the radar, but when they play it, they see it's a classic. 100% agreed. If you want to check me out, I am obviously at stuffbybez in all of the places. If you want to email me, stuffbybez@gmail.com, or you can find out my future streams. Tomorrow I might do some sort of memories of 2021. I might actually look through my predictions. That I did do a prediction thing on my Discord, and we'll look at everyone's predictions and kind of see how that went. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone. This has been a ridiculously long stream. Thank you for being here. Um, and I hope that 2023 is a wonderful year for you. This is pretty much the end of this show. I mean, not the end of my life or anything like that. I mean, yeah, I'm not planning on going anywhere permanently. I'll be back tomorrow. So lots of love. I'll be back at 10 a.m. UK time tomorrow. And for now, bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye, everyone. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely whatever. And yes, I'll set up the thing for Oxate and Black Sheep and Michael. Bye bye.